and just kind of give people a different perspective of us outside of the jersey, outside of the helmet.
Yeah.
And that's really what my thought process was when I said we wanted to do a podcast. Welcome to Under Further Review. This is season 1, episode 1. And I want to officially introduce my co-host, my dog, my brother, Mr. Chris Burnett. All SEC, not just football, but all academic. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Miami Dolphins. One of my closest friends and somebody that I'm super excited to do this with. How you feeling, bro?
Bro, I'm feeling good, man. It's a long time coming, a lot of work we put into this. It's a pleasure to be here. And, you know, like you said, season 1, episode 1, I want to introduce my brother. Y'all already seen his face. You already know who it is. He doesn't need an introduction. But, you know, multiple time All-SEC, 5, 6, 7 year NFL vet. In my opinion, he was the best nickel corner in the league multiple years. You know,
thank you, bro.
One of the best athletes I ever seen. Paul Hornung Award winner, MVP of the Outback Bowl 2012. Y'all remember that game? He put the team on his back. We failed and we still lost. And it was hot and I was tired. That was a whole nother story for the different day. But also, this brother, man, just on a more personal note, is one of the most creative people that I know. One of the smartest, most thoughtful people that I know, and also one of the funniest. And I feel like y'all will get a chance to know that a little bit more. So I love this dude like my blood brother, and just happy we get this opportunity to do this thing, man.
Yeah, man. We've talked about this for a very long time, like a real long time. And we didn't really think it would happen. But hey, here we are today. So right. We want to appreciate y'all. We want to thank y'all for being here with us, and we're gonna talk about what Under Further Review will be, what it's about, and just kind of go from there. What do you hope to accomplish from Under Further Review, Chris?
Man, that's a great question. Like when we talked about this the first time 6 months ago, I just wanted to have an outlet to talk. You know, we've been in the pandemic, and I think the one thing the pandemic has shown us is that we probably have a little bit more time now to sit and just think, sit in our thoughts, and maybe figure out what we really believe, and what our worldview and perspective is on a lot of things. A lot of stuff happened last year.
Definitely.
And I think with Under Further Review, my hope is for us to not only talk about just our experiences and tell the stories that, you know, haven't been told yet, but also to be able to glean wisdom from one another as well as from the guests that we have. You know, athletes are not just one-trick ponies. They're not just physical specimens, but also are typically some of the most mentally strong people that are out there. And I feel like there's so much we can gain from those in that space, in the entertainment space, the entrepreneurship business world. And I'm just excited for people to kind of get some insight on that. And really, it's a chance for me to learn from you, man. We always had these conversations anyway. So we might as well give some of these gems to the audience here. And I'm just excited about that. So, you know, for you, you know, this is really your brainchild. Like you're the one who thought of this initially, man. Like, what do you hope that we get out of Under Further Review and what the audience gets as well?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it was a creative outlet. Like you said, we have these conversations all the time. Not just me and Chris, but athletes everywhere. Yeah. You know, they have conversations every day about things outside of sports, but their fan base, the people that follow them don't really know much about them. And I think that Under Further Review can be that platform.
No doubt.
You know, for you to talk about your dreams and aspirations as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, your stories, you know, what drove you, what are you doing now? And just kind of give people a different perspective of us outside of the jersey, outside of the helmet.
Yeah.
And that's really what my thought process was when I said we wanted to do a podcast. We want to highlight, people that are athletes, people that are entrepreneurs and professionals, and give them a voice and give them a platform to be creative. Because at the end of the day, we're here to create and inspire, man. And I think we definitely need to do more of that. And there's not a better time than now, for sure.
No doubt. Like, with you saying there's not a better time than now, like why do you feel like now is the right time?
I think for me personally, I've reached a level in my life, maybe maturity wise, where I feel like I'm not so self-focused. Became a dad in 2020. Just have really honed in on relationships and only really want relationships that are unique and meaningful in my life. Yeah. And I think with that, I think you got to recognize that you have a voice and you have something to give, and it's not really just about you. And when I started to think about that, I realized we both got followings on social media. We both got followings, but none of us have really just kind of put it all out there and let people see what we were about. Yeah. I know specifically for me, like I haven't. Yeah. And I want to do more of that. Yeah, I want to do more of that. A mystery man. Right. I kind of like being a mystery. But want to see more of that. So that was just kind of my thought process behind it for sure. But people kind of probably want to know how we met. So I'm gonna let you dive into how did me and you meet? Man. What was the first start of us meeting?
I felt like the genesis of it had to be from me cutting your hair. I felt like I was cutting everybody on the team's hair, and I was a team barber. I don't cut no more. I'm retired. Like
illegally cutting. He didn't have no license, but he cut the whole team.
That's real. Me and Artie were rival barbers on the team, man. But I felt like I cut you a few times. I think that was at least just the genesis of it. Yeah. But over time, I want to say, what was that? 2010 when we were in Memphis for the Liberty Bowl. We wound up being roommates, and I remember going into it like a little nervous, like, man, this dude plays. This dude's an impact player. I ain't played it down yet. I was injured that whole season. Like, ain't no way we're gonna have anything in common. He gonna be like, bro, like, just go and get out of my room or something. But like, it was crazy in that time. It just really kind of sparked just us understanding that we had so much in common, and I think just hearing more about our stories. Just what's important to us, ultimately our faith, that similarity of following Jesus. Like, I think that was really the main point that birthed our friendship. But then, over time just kind of grew and developed while we were teammates. And ultimately, I feel like it went to the next level when we added our wives into the picture, man.
Shout out to Tess and Ariel.
Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy to think, but they really helped, like, put water on that seed and helped it to grow. And I feel like post being, football, I feel like that's really when it continued to even cultivate after that. Yeah. So,
and that's when it's real. Like, that's when the friendship is gonna last.
That's real.
Once you're out of that element of football and you still keep in touch, because be honest, like 90% of the dudes, 95% of the dudes, we don't keep in touch with
at all.
And you think like when you in college, like, oh, this is gonna be my dog
for life,
and it just you split up and you go your separate ways. So I will say shout out to our wives for being friends, because that definitely helped us cultivate our friendship, no doubt, and allowed this to happen. And they're actually a pivotal part of this. So I'm excited for y'all to meet them at some point on this thing.
We'll drag them out here for sure, man. But it's just crazy, like, that we're to this point. I'm just excited that we get this chance to share a little bit more of our heart. And really, I feel like I'm even more excited, less about me getting to run my mouth, because I do enough of that already, but just for people to get to know who you are for real. Because again, on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever, they probably see your big triceps and your abs and stuff.
My shirt off.
Yeah, right.
Might take my shirt off a couple times.
Hey, man, we trying to get the viewers up, run them numbers up. I feel like people probably have a perception of who you are,
100%,
and what's important to you. Yeah. And I think when they really get to see, like, man, this dude is not just a great athlete and someone who is special in that arena, but you're special in the mental and spiritual world as well. And I feel like I've grown just from the time of being your friend. So I'm super excited, grateful that we're here. And also, y'all see all these trophies and trinkets and stuff in the background.
I saw Chris stuff that he brought over for the podcast.
But you know, we like this is really a microcosm of what we're trying to accomplish here. And it's not, you see, it's not just football stuff.
Right.
It's not just sports stuff. It's really us trying to show like what's important to us, well-rounded. And I think we said try to hit on sports, culture. You know, our wives would say all things in between.
All things in between.
Entrepreneurship, family, spirituality.
Yeah, we hope to tap into all of that. And I think, you know, that kind of is what's all encompassing about both of us. And that'll be all encompassing of this show. And when I met Chris, I didn't know much about Chris. I just knew he was from Troup County. And my family from Troup County.
Hey, he's LaGrange.
I am not from LaGrange, bro. I'm not from LaGrange. My family is from LaGrange. So that was how we really started. Well, honestly, we didn't know that initially, right?
Yeah, it took a minute.
We didn't know that initially.
Yeah.
So Chris was just cutting my hair without a license.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like he giving me a good temp fade. Like, you know, I'm gonna come back. And he was cheap. He was charging me like $7. You know, we ain't had no money.
Right.
$7 for a cut, that's pretty solid for a temp fade in the lineup.
That allowed me to get a double Whopper with cheese.
So Chris had the most money on the team because everybody was coming to him to get his hair cut.
Yeah.
But then we roomed together at the Liberty Bowl.
That's right.
And like he said, we really found out we had a whole bunch in common, just from a faith level, a spiritual level, maturity level, right? Like, because everybody on the team ain't on the same wavelength. Like, you can be a great athlete and be in the locker room with somebody, but be in the huddle with them, but you just don't really click like that.
Yeah. And
we clicked from day one, man, and we still riding. So that's pretty much how we met, and the story's to be continued, I guess.
Yeah. Excited, you know, for us to be able to share our stories with y'all. You know, it's just crazy. This man, I never knew he had 706 tatted on his bicep. That small thing led to us to be at this point. You know, we're in the culmination of all of that, man. And we're just excited for y'all to see the upcoming episodes and what we have to share with y'all. And it'll be a lot of Georgia football content. I'm sure some of y'all who are watching now, that's what y'all know us from.
Yeah, that's coming.
So we'll definitely hit on that for sure. But those of you who know us as, you know, more well-rounded individuals, we're hitting on it all. So excited, man. Can't wait. And, you know, Brandon, I'll pass it to you if you had anything additional to say before we wrap up here.
That's it. Just stick around. We've kind of given you a synopsis of what it's going to be about. So I guess we can wrap it up. This is episode 1 of Under Further Review. Check out episode 2.